Hello friends, welcome to youtube.com/Dr. Vet channel. In this channel we are presenting lectures of veterinary science and animal husbandry. I am Dr. P.R. Patel, professional head. We have already seen the rhinitis in animal part 1. Here we discuss important part rhinitis in animal part 2. Clinical findings. This is an important respiratory disease and frequently clinicians come across this disease often at the dispensary. So it is very important from practice point of view. We discuss here the clinical signs of rhinitis. Rhinitis, as it looks simple, but it is not simple. Many etiology causes the rhinitis. So there are different forms. For the ease of convenience, we have described the clinical signs in various parts: acute rhinitis, chronic rhinitis, Cowper's rhinitis, follicular rhinitis, allergic rhinitis, atrophic rhinitis in pigs, and necrotic rhinitis in pigs. It is also called as bull nose. We see the clinical signs of each of these type of the rhinitis. Now we see details of clinical signs of acute rhinitis. Clinician can see from a distance and close inspection there is redness and swelling of mucous membrane. Even the owner also inform about this. Because of the inflammation, there is great irritation in the sensitive nasal mucous membrane and there is pain because of the inflammation. So, important clinical sign is sneezing and animal constantly shake the head because of the irritation as if certain things is clogged in the nasal cavity. Animal try to scratch the nasal part. Animal many times paw the legs at the face, just it want to scratch the nasal mucous membrane. Frequently the animal is found the rubbing of the nose and muscles against hard objects or a ground just to get rid of this irritation. We have seen the important signs of acute rhinitis, sneezing and irritation and pain. Another characteristic sign of acute rhinitis is characteristic nasal discharge. Nasal discharge is always there, so it is important and it is of diagnostic value. Nasal discharge may be unilateral or bilateral depending upon the nasal cavity involved, whether one nasal cavity involved, unilateral or both bilateral. There is scanty or copious nasal secretion. Sometimes it may be scanty, coming a little at a time, and sometimes there is copious. The nasal discharge may be orange in color, may be yellowish in color or green in color depending upon the various type of the etiology that causes the acute rhinitis. The nasal discharge may be intermittent or say frequently or may be continuous secretion of the nasal discharge. The nasal discharge may be odorless, or sometimes if there is necrosis, gangrene or certain type of infection, it may be fetid or may be musty in odor. Friends, we know that nasal discharge characteristics are important for the diagnosis of rhinitis. We continue here. It is very important. When acute rhinitis occurs, initially there is a serous discharge. It's a clear cut, a water flowing from the nose. It is a water, serous initially. Then as the 1 or 2 days pass, it becomes mucoid because there is more mucus secretion. The watery nasal discharge become little bit thick and the flow is also less. Then after 2 to 3 days, there is a secondary bacterial infection. So along with mucus, there is mixed with a pus called mucopurulent nasal discharge. After 4 or 5 days, more bacterial infection causes the nasal discharge a purulent one. So initially serous, watery, mucoid little bit more thick, mucopurulent more thick, more white flakes, and finally more thick, purulent. And this is because of the secondary bacterial infection. And sometimes it is so thick, just like a casein or a butter. It is called as caseous nasal discharge. The nasal discharge may be serosanguinous, that the nasal discharge is mixed with some blood, bleeding mixed, so it is red or brownish color, or it may be a frank blood, that is hemorrhagic, depending upon the acute or subacute or depending upon the etiology. Generally, in very acute case or per acute case, there may be bleeding is observed. The symptoms of acute rhinitis. First, we have seen the signs of irritation, inflammation, and pain. There is a sneezing also. The second, we have seen characteristic nasal discharge. Now, the clinician can inspect the nasal mucosa for characteristic of the lesions and inflammation, or he can use otoscope to examine the nasal cavity, and clinician observe tissues hyperemia. When there is inflammation, there is all signs of inflammation. There is redness, pain, swelling, and functional issue. The mucous membrane is hyperemic. There is edema, mucous membrane become thick. There are erythematous patches, either small or large. In severe cases, there may be a erosion, loss of the superficial mucous membrane. In severe cases, there is ulceration, sometimes follicles, pustules, and sometimes there is a presence of growth, either nodule growth or polyps or any other type growth of necrotic mucous membrane. These are the commonly observed. This all depends on the stage of rhinitis and type of infection. Friends, we continue with the clinical signs of acute rhinitis. If the infection is severe, then this infection is drained by submaxillary lymph node. All the infection are drained by submaxillary lymph node of the nasal cavity. So there is enlargement of submaxillary lymph node in more infectious case. There is difficulty in respiration that depends on the narrowing of the passage. If the narrowing of the passage is less, there is less difficulty. If the narrowing of passage is more, then there is more difficulty. The narrowing of the passage is due to thickening of the mucous membrane, edema, inflammation of the mucous membrane, presence of secretion, and presence of necrotic material in the air passage. In somewhat more severe cases, when the narrowing of the passage is more, so it clearly obstructs the nasal mucous membrane and the nasal passage. In that case, respiratory stutter is observed. When the inspiration, when the air moves, it moves with difficulty. It moves in a small lots and gives a clear-cut whizzing type of the sound, respiratory stutter. And if there is more blockage and more pain, many a time open mouth breathing is done by the animal. Generally, dyspnea is an inspiratory dyspnea because the animal takes the air forcefully. If more severe case, infection is more, then swelling of the whole throat, there may be difficulty in swallowing. There is great pain and animal exhibits dysphagia, difficulty in swallowing and difficulty in eating. Continuation with the clinical signs of acute rhinitis. In more severe cases, especially viral disease, there may be a conjunctivitis, inflammation of the conjunctiva. The eye become swollen, puffy, the conjunctiva become inflamed and red, and there is lacrimation from the eye. If the infection and inflammation spread to the other parts, then there is inflammation of the upper respiratory passages. In some of the cases, for example, nasal granuloma caused by Schistosoma nasalis, there is a granulomatous growth in the nasal cavity, and if the growth is large, it blocks the nasal passage. There is dyspnea and characteristic snoring sound is heard from a distance. When snoring is there, it gives the diagnosis of nasal granuloma, schistosomiasis in cattle. The course of disease, if its case is very simple, it is 4 to 10 days. But if it is complicated and if it is neglected, timely treatment is not given, the case may become a chronic. Then there is difficulty. Otherwise, in a simple case, there is cure within 3 to 4 or 7 days. Prognosis is very favorable. But if left untreated, neglected, then prognosis may be little bit poor, may turn into the chronic case. Friends, we have already seen the clinical signs of acute rhinitis. There is no difficulty in diagnosis, and frequently the clinician get such cases in their dispensary hospital or clinics. Now we see the clinical signs of chronic rhinitis. Chronic rhinitis is generally a complication of acute case, and it takes a more longer time than acute time. Chronic rhinitis is generally complicated by secondary bacterial infection. The primary causes of chronic rhinitis are idiopathic chronic inflammatory disease, lymphoplasmacytic rhinitis. If there is severe trauma in the nasal cavity, it may lead to chronic rhinitis. Parasites, flea parasites, Cuterebra, or another parasites, that is that is fluke infestation, Schistosoma nasalis, presence of foreign bodies, neoplasm, or chronic mycotic infection. These are the common causes of chronic rhinitis. So while providing diagnosis, the clinician has to look for this type of the chronic etiology also. Most commonly, it is complicated by secondary bacterial infection. But sometimes the other causes also causes the chronic rhinitis. Friends, we continue here clinical signs of chronic rhinitis. And the nasal discharge is the characteristic of either chronic or acute rhinitis. But in chronic rhinitis, the nasal discharge is mucopurulent to purulent because of the bacterial infection. Sometimes the animal learn the technique reverse sneeze. It is the opposite of the sneezing. Sneezing means there is an expiration effort to clear the nasal passage, while the reverse sneeze is a aspiration reflex, inspiration reflex. It is a short, rapid inhalation as attempt just to clear the nasal passage. It is the reverse of the sneezing, so it is called as reverse sneeze. So some animal learn this technique and they follow reverse sneeze, especially dogs and cats. The chronic rhinitis, there is a more thickened mucosa. It causes narrowing of the passage, block the nasal passage, so there is difficulty in respiration, dyspnea. The respiration is stertorous. Stertorous means respiration, inspiration is not continuous. But when the animal inspire little bit, again stopping, again inspire, again inspiration, like that. So it gives a jerky, stertorous respiration, not a continuous, because of the narrowing of the passage blockage. And if there is more blockage, the animal find convenient to mouth breathing. The mucous membrane is congested and thickened. Clinical findings of the chronic rhinitis: as there is inflammation, edema, accumulation of the exudate, secretion and growth. All this causes heaviness in the nasal cavity. So animal feel heaviness in the nasal cavity. So animal constantly shake the head. An animal keep extension of the head and neck in a straight line so that any animal can feel easy respiration. Sometimes the animal also rub the nose, pawing the nose. That other symptoms we already have seen it. Sometimes there is nasal granuloma, the granulomatous growth in the nasal cavity, and generally observed in Schistosoma nasalis case. Characteristic is the secretion is or nasal discharge is serosanguinous. It is a serous mucus mixed with blood. So sometimes it is mixed, sometimes there are streaks of blood are observed. And characteristic a polyps growth in the nostril. If the clinician can inspect the nasal cavity very carefully, he will find a polyps growth in the nasal cavity. Because of this nasal granuloma, there is narrowing of the passage of the nasal cavity. These lesions are granulomatoous lesion, so it causes a snoring sound. It is also characteristic in Schistosoma nasalis. The snoring sound can be heard from distance and it is of some diagnostic value. In severe cases, there is enlargement of submaxillary lymph node because submaxillary lymph node takes the lymph from the nasal cavity. Friends, we have seen the symptoms of acute rhinitis, symptoms of chronic rhinitis. Now we see another type, Cowper's rhinitis, clinical signs. These are the not very much difference from acute chronic. There is little bit difference. This Cowper's rhinitis is caused by inhalation of irritant gases and that is observed in the cattle or animal residing near the industrial area. From there also there is isolation of Bacillus necrophorus is also there. So it may be a combination of both these two. Irritant gases invited this Bacillus necrophorus infection. Here, as it is a rhinitis, there is inflammation of mucous membrane of nose. But here characteristic is that there is a formation of pseudomembrane. There is necrotic membrane, special membrane, necrotic, that is derived from the mucous membrane. So it is called pseudomembrane. It is necrotic. So it contains neutrophil, it contains exudate, it contains bacteria, it contains other causative agent. It is the shredded epithelial cells. So this forms the pseudomembrane. If clinician observe carefully, he can diagnose such cases. In the nasal discharge, there are shreds of mucous membrane. These shreds are nothing but a pieces of pseudomembrane slowly shaded in the nasal secretion. Continue with the clinical findings of Cowper's rhinitis. If the clinician observe carefully, there is a yellow false membrane, pseudomembrane, or some grayish patches, eh, from where the pseudomembrane is shades off and leave the underlying a bleeding surface and scars. This clinician has to observe very carefully. There is swelling of submaxillary lymph node because it is a chronic serious cases, and sometimes there is slight rise in body temperature and the cases may recover within a week, but if care is not taken it may lengthen the course of the disease. Friends, we see here clinical signs of follicular rhinitis. It is caused by Streptococcus equi and observed in equines. Here there is inflammation of the nasal mucous membrane, and characteristic is that there are small nodules, and initially these nodules are just the size of flea. Flea is very small, say 2 mm. So it is called as a flea bite size, very small on nasal septa. Slowly this flea bite small nodules increase in size because it is caused by infection streptococcus bacteria. Small nodules are increased in their size because of the infection. Spread the infection, so they increase in number. And as the small nodules contain pus on ripening, they develop yellowish color. So initially they look small red nodule. Later on, because of the pus, it convert to yellowish color nodule. Friends, continue with the follicular rhinitis. There are many nodules in the nasal cavity, in the nasal septum. These adjacent nodules coalesce. So when nodules join together, they form a bigger nodule and form a pustules, which can be clear-cut visible by inspection. As a rule, when there is bacterial infection, pustules are nothing but it is a small abscess. The pustule ruptures and leaving a bright red erosions, ulcers on the nasal septa. And these lesions heal in a few days. Because there is infection and the nasal cavity infections are drained by renal lymph nodes, submaxillary lymph node, there is swelling of the renal lymph nodes. There is infection in the lymph vessels also, and it produces lymphangitis. The lymph vessels become swollen and large and become thick cord-like, and because of infection sometimes suppurates. This is a more serious case. The recovery is observed in 2 to 3 weeks by proper antibiotic treatment. And we discuss here another type of the rhinitis, that is called allergic rhinitis, and it is also named in some geographical area enzootic nasal granuloma in cattle. Enzootic because it is constantly present in certain area and there is granulomatous growth in the nasal cavity. It is caused by allergic reaction to pollen grains and fungal spores in certain geographical area. These allergic rhinitis signs are only seasonal, occurs in summer, warm season and moist environment. Because in this warm moist environment there is growth of flowers, they shed the pollen grains and certain fungi that shed the spores in the environment. The cattle inhale these pollen grains or fungal spores and so the allergic rhinitis. The symptoms are rhinorrhea. During that season, the summer season, so it is named as summer snuffles also. There is rhinorrhea. That means a continuous serous or mucoid nasal discharge is coming from the nose, rhinorrhea. Characteristic symptom, sneezing, that is we have already seen. Because of the granulomatous growth, there is sudden onset of the dyspnea. Because of the multiple granuloma, as well as there is edema of the mucous membrane. There is narrowing of the passage of the nasal cavity, and if timely not cured, it may turn into the chronic stage, and clinician observe multiple granulomas in the nasal cavity. Atrophic rhinitis occur in pig. The clinical signs we describe here. It is caused by toxigenic strain of Pasteuria multocida, and it develops acute signs because there is fast development of Pasteuria multocida, and acute signs usually appear in 3 to 8 weeks of age of the pigs. Symptoms: sneezing and coughing, because this Pasteuria multocida also involve the lower respiratory tract along with the upper respiratory tract. There is a inflammation and occlusion of not only the nasal cavity but also the lacrimal duct. Characteristic observed here is there is atrophy of the turbinate bones. The turbinate bones are in the nasal cavity, and because of this atrophy it is called as atrophic rhinitis. And because of this atrophy of the turbinate bones, there is a distortion of the nasal septum. Clinician can observe this characteristic of the disease. And because of this distortion of the nasal septum, from the outside there is lateral deviation or shortening becomes short or twisting of the upper jaw. This is the lesion from outside. That lateral deviation of the jaw, upper jaw, shortening of the upper jaw and twisting of the upper jaw. That can be seen by clinician outside. Otherwise, distortion of the nasal septum and atrophy, clinician can observe in the nasal cavity. Necrotic rhinitis observed in pigs. It is called as a bull nose because the snout of the pigs become distorted and looks just like a bull nose. So name is given. Necrotic rhinitis is caused by Fusobacterium necrophorum, and this Fusobacterium gain entry through the damage to the roof of the mouth. So they are coming from the roof of the mouth. And why they come from the roof of the mouth? Because sometime the owner clipped the needle teeth of a pig too short, or cutting of the needle teeth using blunt clippers. So it may cause damage to the roof of the mouth, and through which this Fusobacterium bacteria enter into the nasal cavity. It is a sporadic disease of the young pigs. Only 1 or 2 pigs in a herd are affected. Continue with the necrotic rhinitis, bull nose in a pig. Because of this infection, there is a suppuration, pus formation and necrosis of the snout. That is due to wound of the oral and nasal mucosa. There is swelling and deformities of face because of this necrosis and inflammation. The symptoms are snuffling and sneezing because the pigs are very sensitive. Because of the infection, there is foul smelling from the nasal discharge. There is loss of appetite and because of that there is emaciation also. The nose or the snout of this pig looks like a bull nose, so it is called as bull nose. Not exactly, but little bit similar. Friends, I have described the detail of rhinitis in much detail because the bright students can compete with the other students also, and veterinarians get the knowledge in detail and they provide a better service to the animals. Requested to share this information to veterinarians and veterinary students. Subscribe to promote the channel. If you like, press like button. If you want notification, press bell button. Thank you very much for observing this video. Next time we will come with other part of the rhinitis part 3 that contain diagnosis and treatment aspect. Thank you.